Okay, what we're going to be doing here is a complete rebuild of the entire semester's virtual machine that we have been working on and off all semester. Now, what we'll be doing is starting with all the instructions that we need and everything we need to make this work are on the website right here. If I go here down to 210 and labs, everything we've done is somewhere in here. We will start here. This is the script that we need to actually create the very beginning of our web. Notice where I am. I am on a server. I'm on the equivalent of one of the machines in the Jeremy room, 231. It's a box. And so there we go. It's starting, and we will see over here. Here is a new virtual machine being created right here. So what I want to do now is open this, and I get this prompt that says, okay, look, now what I need to do is go down to advanced options and go down to automated install. And as it processes along, it will go to the Philips D website. And then what I will be doing is this is the pre-seed file that I want to get right there. Okay, so if I cat that file while that's grinding away, it's called SP24 pre-seed. Well, it helps if I did 24. And this is everything that automatically does the building of our machine. And notice what it says. It says location of initial pre-configuration file. This is where I type in http:// except I need //. Oops. Let me go back one. Let me restart. I'm going to restart this whole thing. That's what's nice about this, is that this process is pretty straightforward, and I can just stop this machine, poof, delete it, and I want to delete this, but not the ISO. I want to keep the ISO. Boom. All gone. And now what do? I just hit up arrow here, rerun this. And there it is. So I can right click on open, and go to advanced options and go to automated install. And then watch my keyboard a little more as I do this. And what I'll be doing is I'll be using HTTPS, and behind the scenes is simply using wget, which we will again use later to do some install and setting our volume machine, our logical volume manager up. All right, and this is building out our machine. So there we go. I need to click in HTTP, and then I do : //, then the name of the website, which is Philips. And then I'm going to give it 210, which is the name of it. And then I give it the name of the pre-seed file, which I just catted over here, which was SP24 24 underscore pre-seed dot txt. And then I hit enter. And then what it does, this pre-seed file has got a lot of information in it. And as I go through this, if I type in less here, you can see what it's doing. It's actually installing, setting up the keyboard, it's setting up the clock, it's setting up our default user, it's installing a bunch of software for us. Like, for example, right here, this, when it runs correctly, it will have set everything up for us, except for the web server, okay? And this process. So this is step one in our process. And if I go back to the 210 site here, so we want to build our VM. So we skip there. This is what we're starting on. On a Linux box, create a new VM. Do not install a GUI. We're not. Add the OpenSSH server. That's part of the pre-seed. Add the web server. That is not part of the pre-seed. We'll get to that later. Add 2 small disks. We haven't done that. Add a few additional users. 1 user is already created, Tux. Add the serial console. That will be automated as well. Set up the sudo for Tux. That's already automated. These 2 directories, that has not been automated. And your path statement will be automated. This will be automated. And let's see here, the last thing we need down here, this is a copy, cut, and paste, and then we're done. That's how it works. So we've done all of these steps throughout the semester. It's just that we have not done them in one sitting. So while that is working away, let's go to our next step, which is here. That was virch install. That was pre-seed. There's the pre-seed file, which I did with wget. That's how you pull the file. Wget, type that in. The next one we'll be using is this here doc. This is how I've gotten multiple raises throughout my career. The here documents are actually pretty amazing. They do all sorts of wonderful things. What this does is it creates your aliases. It creates your .funcs file. It creates this bash RC, so your calkit works. It creates this bin uppit, so your machine will update when you request it. This very last piece here is how the funcs file gets sourced. And then we enable the Getty for the serial port to work from up here. When we go over here, we say view consoles serial. And at the moment, nothing's there. Doesn't work. We want to fix that. So that's what we'll be doing in that step. Okay. And then it modifies things. This is the steps needed to create the serial port to work. Then we install the web server right there. Boom. And again, this whole script, you run it once and everything is done. Okay. So we'll wait for this to finish install. Okay. And it's pretty close to done right now. And then what I want you to do when you document this is simply do lots of screenshots. Prove to me you did it. Make it easy on yourself. And you can do screenshots you just by hitting print screen, and then you open a LibreOffice and then paste it in and do the next one and do the next one and so on. There's a way to do it as a recording as well, if you are so inclined. And this was all done for our spring of 24 Linux class. So while this is working, is copy, cut, and paste will not work between our virtual machine and our host machine, because at this time, there is a piece of software that is missing. That piece of software, while this is grinding away, is something called spice dot or spice hyphen VD agent. But oh, wait, there's more. That will get installed when we do post install, right? It will install our VD agent. Okay. So let this grind away. We'll get everything set up, and then I'll show you how to do the logical volume manager. Okay. These are all the things you need to do to get your VM built. Now, this is the part that takes the longest, is the actual running of the pre-seed. Think of this as the pre-seed file as it's completely automated your install. So it's answering a bunch of questions. Yes, no, and so on and so forth. So you don't have to do it again. Okay. And then when it says guest is not running, that means you're done. So what we have to do is hit power on the virtual machine. Watch what happens. Dum-da-dum. We now have our machine. We are ready to rock and roll. So let's log in as Tux using VMware. I can spell it right. 12. And we are ready to go. Now watch this. sudo su minus. Type in VMware. Well, we are good to go. We have everything we need for making. So a lot of our steps are already taken, already done. So let's go back to here. Now this is a little hard to see. So what I'm going to do is cheat. Notice I now have 192, 168, 122, 177. That allows me to go over here and open a terminal, however you want to do that. There is a hotkey. And so I can say SSH tux at 192, 168.122.171. Yes. And VMware 12. Again, screenshot this. This is another step. Open SSH server. You can log in. It now works. Slick. All right. Now, copy, cut, and paste doesn't work, right? Well, guess what? I lied. It will work if I'm logged in like this, because this client piece right here is on my host machine. So I can now do my next step, which is going to be this here doc. So I want to suck this guy down, say copy. I can copy, cut, and paste, but I kind of want to keep it. So let's do this. Make dir bin and end class. Okay. And I'm going to change directory to bin and then wget, and then simply bumping too many things here in wget, and then paste this. Watch what happens here. Boom. I cat the file. Looky there. There it is. Now let's watch what happens. All right. I'm going to change directory ls -la. Notice There is no dot bash aliases. There is no dot bcrc. There is no, what else? Dot funcs, funcs. Watch what happens here. Bash, bin, sp, because that's a shell script. Doesn't matter what the end is. Did I put in the bin directory? Yes. What's my password? 12. Guess what's happening, folks? It's installing the additional packages for my web server. It's setting up my .funcs. And if I do nmap localhost here, magic, there is my HTTP 80 part of my funcs. Oh, look, there it is. But if I type in w footer, doesn't work. Why? Because I've created new files that need to be reread. So we do this with source.bashrc. Now look what happens. Go up one more. Dum, da, dum. There we have it. So everything's working. So now what I need to do is, let's do this. Look at that. My Uppit script is working. And this is a little thing that just simply goes through and updates our virtual machine to all the latest and greatest. So that's working. Now let's pop over to this and do our view consoles serial. Oh, look, there's my login. It works. Yippee skippy. Screenshot that. That working. So we are now cooking with gas, as they say. So now let's double check our website. So my IP address for my website is going to be Sky. And I open my website. This will only work on the host machine. Voila, looky there. There it is. So if I type in, does not found. Okay, let's do calc it and simply say 113 divided by 355 double quote. Nope, let's go the other way. We want 355. Actually, it doesn't really matter. I can calc anything here. So let's say 123 times 3. There we go. But notice what happened on our website. This is the default. I don't want that anymore. So what I have to do is move it out of the way. I do it like that. sudo md var www html index.html to var www html index underscore org. Now if I hit refresh, oh no, it's gone, which is what we want. Now we have to create a new web page. Well, guess what, folks? We can do that. Let's see if I got my calendar in Cal. I don't. Okay. So let's do this. Type in w header / index .html. And let's do this. Cat minus into index.html. Now is the time to get your homework done. If I was your boss, what would you say about your work? Period. Question mark. And then do Control C. And one more. We do FW footer to index.html. Now let's cat that index.html. There it is. Now let's move it, sudo, move index to var www HTML. We go over here and refresh. Ta-da! That's all done. Now, what are we missing? Well, if we go back to our original thing here, we need to go down and just start clicking. So open SSH, we did that. Web server, did that. Do small 6, we haven't done that yet. Additional users, oh, that's easy. Let's say add user, and let's just use Chuck, C-H-U-K, and hit enter. Whoops, user add. Oh, I need sudo add user Chuck. And then password VMware12, Chuck. And it's spelled funny because this is as Tux is the mascot for Linux, Chuck is the mascot for FreeBSD. So ls home. So you can see I have 2 users, cat etc password. You can see I have 2 users down there at the bottom. And then if I cat etc shadow, permission denied. Okay, let's do that with sudo. And then I'll show you what that looks like. This is where all passwords are kept. ADOW. sudo cat etc shadow. Okay, there's my 2 passwords. Even though the passwords are the same, look at the encrypted screen. They are not the same. Okay. All right. Now let's see. Add path statement. Let's check, see what happened here. When we did our make stuff, what happened here? Bash aliases. Oh, look what happened here. Echo $path. It's already there. Dun, dun, dun. That was automated. That was automated when we ran our wonderful little thing called make stuff. This here doc does all kinds of magic. Okay. This post install we haven't done yet, but we'll get there. Okay, that's the very last thing we do. But now what we have to do is add our logical volume. So again, let's borrow some information here. Let's take this information, copy. Let's go over here, put it in the bin directory. wget. And paste it in. So there it is. Now I'm going to edit this file to make it a little bit easier. Now, before I do that, let's always copy the original SP24 210 LVM, and we'll just call it LVM .txt. LVM.txt. We're going to edit that one, VM.txt. Now, what we're going to do here is eliminate what we don't need. Okay, we are going to add some hard drive. And we will do these first two steps right here. This is what we will be doing by hand. Okay. So this first step, F disk B and S disk C, we'll be doing by hand. Then the rest of these, I can actually pretty much do this all by itself. And then this last one we'll use as comments. We're going to use that information. Okay. Now, as we get started, we need to do a few things. All this must be run as root. All right. Everything must be run as root. That's a pound sign. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, before I do anything, I will simply do sudo su minus. Okay. Now, here we are. We're good. Now, back over here, we want to install details to hard drive. Then we say add hardware. Boom. And we're going to say disk device. And we're going to say, I'm just going to make it 2 gig because it's the process. There we go. There's one. And now let's add another one. 2 gig. Finish. And go back to view console. And here I am. If I do sudo f disk minus L, look what we have, folks. There's our new one, B, and our new one, C. All done, ready to rock and roll. Okay. So what did I say we have to do by hand? Everything in that script. Well, what we have to do first is fdisk dev vdb. We say new, and then we just take the defaults. Primary, start one, and hit enter. Then this is where we need to change. Notice it says partition 1 is of type Linux. We need to say T for type, and we change it to 8 echo. And notice what happens. Linux gets changed to Linux VM. Ta-da, done. Now we do the next one. We do up arrow, and we say VDC, and we say new, enter, 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 T for type, 8 echo, right W. There we go. We're ready to go. Now, what happened? So now I'm ready to do bash home tox lvm.txt. Oops, it was in the bin directory, wasn't it? Okay, let's go to the bin directory. And if I do df here, LV1 made it. Oh, guess what I forgot to do? Oh, how terrible. Change directory MK. Change directory MNT. Let's see if my mounts are there. Oh, good. My mounts all made it. DF. And let's do PVs. There they are. Let's do VGs for volume group. Okay, I got my volume group. And let's do LVs. Let's make sure those got created. I should have 3, which I do not. I only have 1. So let's go up and take a look at, see what went wrong. So let's say cat home. Well, let's just edit. VI home tux bin LVM. Okay. That did the create. That did that. And then LV should create. Oh, that's why. I made them too big. So I don't have enough space. Well, let's fix this. So I made one there, only made 2 gig, and I made these 2 gig. So let's make these like 50 megabyte. I believe this works. We'll see. 50 megabyte. And here. Everything working except the size. And the problem is, we can say LV reduce, and this sets it all up and does that. Okay. So what I need to do is with my VGs, VGs, all right, 3, and then if I say LVs, all right, now let's go, while I'm thinking about this, let's go over here, change directory bin, cat lv.m.txt. So we actually want to create LV reduce on data 1, LV reduce on see, how could we do this to make it easy? You know what? This might work best is just simply, let's do it this way. Let's go into, let's bring our machine down, sudo power off. Okay, boom. So remember, my machine is now off, and I'm going to go into details here. And I'm going to simply take these guys and remove them. Boom. And we're going to remove B, delete. Oof. Take 2 and delete. Oof. And then I will, okay. All right. Now I want to add some more storage, and I'm going to make them a little bigger. I'm going to just take 20 this time. And then add hardware again, because I have plenty of room on this machine. And do that again. So it now created, so I have 1, 2, and 3 again. So let's turn it back on. Hit console. Let it do its thing. Log in as Tux. VMware. And sudo f disk -l. VMware 12. There they are. They're named the same thing. So let's log in again over here. And let's look at my history. Oops, that's not going to work on this side. I don't know that. Nope. And let's go down. There we go. VMware. Now what's going to happen? All right. Now I've got plenty of room. I've got 220 gigs, and if I cat my home tux bin LVM, notice when it creates it, it's giving it smaller, way smaller. Let's make those 1 gig just for grins and giggles. That way I can make sure it all works. So we'll change this to VI. And we'll simply call it 1G. I can go back to 2G, that's fine. 2G dot, and then go XXX, XXX. Okay, so I'm creating I've got 40 gigabytes added together. Now I run this script and it's going to do all this magic. So what it will do is, but I need to do my fdisk thing again. So I need to create these partitions with 8E. Then when I create the partitions, it will create a volume group over both hard drives, display them, and then it will create 3 individual volume groups in our logical volumes in the volume group. And then I will add a file system, mount them, and let them do their thing. Okay. So let's do the fdisk thing. Fdisk dev vdb new t 8 echo write, and then up arrow to C new T 8 echo write. Now I'll just do bash home slash home. Oh, come on. Slash home Flux bin LVM. There they are. Now the last thing we need is to change our etc file system. So notice when I run that last command, it gave us this piece of information. This is what we want. This is the information we need. So I'm going to right click and copy that. Okay. And now let's do vi etc fs tab. Notice all this magic in here. We're going to have to do some magic ourselves. So I do Control Shift V. Now, this is how it works. I actually need to remove this up to here and remove those semicolons and then everything after the end of the line. I do this by putting my cursor right under the equal sign and hit uppercase D in VI, and it removes, and the lowercase x will remove one character at a time. And this is how this works. This is a very important piece of your system. You trash this, you will not be able to boot. So I want to mount the first one to MNT data 1. And it's going to be an ext4. We take the default. Then we give it 0 and a 2. Now, all that is going to be duplicated for the next 2. So I do uppercase D, uppercase P, uppercase P. And now I can move this around a little bit, change the names. There we go. It's ready to rock and roll. Now, if I had more time and I wasn't worried about, recording this to bore people to death, I would clean this up and line up the zeros and everything to make it a little prettier, just because it looks nicer that way. So now we're done with everything here. Now, if I reboot, watch what happens. Okay. Machine comes up, providing I didn't type in anything wrong. Oh, look, I got my prompt. That's a very good sign. It did not die on me. And if I do df, look, there are my logical volumes. Yippee skippy. Now, there's one or two things left, and we're going on down here is we want our bash 4 demo. You all remember that one? That is right here. We did this. It was called the blank card. This was free. We did this in class. So you would copy these, and let's put that over into, let's log back into our machine. Change directory to bin. I could do wget too. Why don't I do that? That'll be a little easier. And so what I'm going to do is actually wget this thing twice. Wget, and then hit, oh, come on. Wget, paste. So there it is. So it's the blank card. So I'm going to move SP24. Oh, let's just copy it. Copy SP24. And blank card to 4 demo. And then hit up arrow and copy it to if demo. Now let's edit 4 demo. 4 demo is simply print your name 10 times. That's all that did. So I don't need anything down here. And now let's do the if demo. I don't need the top few lines. This creates our simple if test. The chmod those. Assign x star underscore demo. Now if I run 4 demo, ta-da. Now if I run if demo, works. And let's say yellow and put in some other color. Can't do A. So what, oops, got a bug. Got to fix that. And do Q and it exit. Close enough. There, we have now done everything in our list. We did not install the GUI. We opened the server or logged in. We changed the default home page. We created a volume group and we changed it to UUID. Add one user, serial console, created paths. That was done. That was done. That was done. And we did all this other stuff. That completes what we did all semester long. So we are now done. I'm going to stop the share. Well, actually going to stop the recording and end this recording. Okay, stop.